If you're thinking about buying a house in today's market, does it ultimately make any kind of sense? And I get that question a lot when people come to my office or they reach me in my DMs or they give me a call or a text. But I can't really answer that question because only you can answer that question. But what I can do is I can lead you with the truth, give you the facts and information, and then we could discuss the fundamentals of buying a house in this market. But what I can tell you is this. Number one, if you're looking for a short-term gain and thinking you're going to get rich on your first house and make it into a big-time investment property, even though buying your first house is an investment, then you should just shut this video down and go try to get pitched by somebody else on this platform. But what I'm willing to do is mentor you with the truth, the facts, and the data, show you the fundamentals of why you should buy a house. Then you should really watch this video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Victor Huerta here. I've been doing real estate in the Valley for 14 years now. So if you're thinking about selling, buying, investing, moving, relocating to Phoenix, Arizona, I just want to show you the fundamentals, the charts, the data of what's going on in our real estate market. And if you could do us a favor, every time you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, it does push this video out to people who are just like you, maybe looking to make that decision like, hey, I'm thinking about buying, selling, doing something in real estate here in Arizona. So let me help Victor out in his channel and push this stuff out to him. So that's what you actually do when you smash that like and that subscribe button. We truly appreciate it. So in this video, I'm going to break down what home buyers need to know about our Arizona real estate market. Now, a lot of people are saying that the Arizona real estate market is going to crash. A lot of people are saying that you should never buy in our market because it was so overinflated. Okay, but with some data, fundamentals, and by bringing you the facts with the truth, you might open your eyes and say, you know what? It's really not a bad time to purchase a house, because I'm going to give you some past history. I'm going to show you the current, what's going on with our situation here in Arizona as a whole. And then I'm going to try, to put my genie hat on and my crystal ball and predict the future here. Because there's a lot of people who don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen as well. But I'm trying to look over that hill into the ocean, right? Into the storm, and trying to make sure hey, when I sit down with my clients, am I being honest? Yes. Am I being truthful? Yes. And I'm showing the data? Yes. Do I know the fundamentals? Yes. Do I know that what's really going to happen over that big mountain? No. But can I predict something that might happen? Yes. Can I be wrong? Of course I can. Can I be right? Of course I can. We've all have guessed 50% on being right and being wrong. So in this video, I just want to bring you some data, and I hope you stay for the entire video, for being in real estate for 14 years in the Valley of Arizona, helping home buyers, home sellers, investors buy real estate here, giving them the knowledge so they can think for themselves and say hey, it's a good time to move forward, or I'm just going to sit on the sidelines for a while. But with this information in this video, you're going to have a solid foundation to say yes or to say no. So let's get right into the data. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the first chart I want to get into is the annual median sales price. So I will be looking at you here in the lens, and then I will be looking at the chart here so I can explain the chart with you, and you'll see me on the top right or top left of the screen. Now, this is brought to you by the Crawford Report. They're a supporter of the channel. I pay for this information to give you the data so you can make a sound decision when you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in some real estate. So what I want to do is I kind of want to break down where we're at. Now, as you can see here in 2006, the annual median sales price of single family houses were $257,664. Okay. And that's the range. The range means that's from the price range of homes from 10,000, as low as 10,000, right, up to $10 million. Now, as you can see, is back in 2011, when we had the crash. This is when the crash happened. 2008, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. 2011 is when we hit flat bottom. Okay, you could buy a house for 110,000. Then things started to change, right? We started increasing, right, as far as prices. And it kept on going up and kept on going up. And as interest rates stayed low, it got the economy going. It got the real estate going, especially here in Phoenix, as we were hit hard when the crash happened over here. Look at this big old cliff dive down here to the bottom. Okay. But now, as of 2022, the median sales price is $465,000. And look at the range of the prices. If you notice, the range is as low as 9,000 up to 28,100,000. When back in 2011, we were in a range of 2,000 to 6.2 million. That was like the highest price point in Arizona. But now the price points have changed. So if you see this chart, it has just gone up for years since 2011 to 2022. So the question I have for you is, you're probably asking, well, prices are overinflated. But you got to remember that during this time frame when the bubble popped, we had interest-only mortgages, we had balloon mortgages that reset, we had no FICO, no income, no job verification, and people were getting these mortgages. And as if you look at this chart, as I show you, is everything from here on, from 2011, we have learned the lesson. Lenders, banks, real estate agents, even the public have learned their lesson that we are on a 30-year fixed mortgage. And I think everything that's been written since 2011 has been job verification, income verification, 30-year fixed mortgage interest rates up to today, as everybody who has gotten a loan. Now, let me see this chart here. This is the annual change in monthly median sales price. Now, 0% is just the baseline of this chart, of the X and Y chart, okay? As you can see here in 2003, for those of us who are 2004, look at in 2005. This was the top of the market, just like before a crash, okay? It was annual, the percentage change annually was 53.2%. It went from here at the very bottom from 3.8% of annual sales price appreciation up to 53.3%. And then look at this chart when it crashed. It went all the way down to negative 46.3%. So from 53.3% all the way down to 46.3%. Then all of a sudden it went all the way back up. Then it came back down, and then it went back up in 2012. Then it came back down. But look at how we've been riding close to, really is annual appreciation rate pretty steady, right? Up to till 2019. Okay. Now we have gone up since then, and now the highest point right here was 33.1%. But still, if you compare that to 53.3%, we're still not that high like back when the market crashed. And yes, we have a little dip here at 14.1%, right? So your play here is going to be long-term. It's not going to be short-term, okay? You're no longer going to be here like in the market back in 2003, buy a house, sell it at the very peak, make $100,000, $200,000. The same thing here is buy in 2011 and sell it at the peak and make, $100,000 to $200,000. The same thing here at the very bottom right here in 2019 and make yourself $100,000 to $200,000. So right now, this is what I'm thinking is we're going to be in this long line of an annual appreciation rate of 5, 6, 8% moving forward. Okay. So you got to think long term, because if you're thinking that you're going to make this major cash buy and sell, it's not going to happen. with rates increasing, okay, that's not going to happen. So that's one of the charts I want to get in front of you to show you the facts on where we're at as far as price point and annual appreciation. Now, let's get into the other chart. Now, as I had mentioned, interest rates. So the next chart comes basically from a website you can go to. It's FreddieMac.com/PMMS. And this is basically the interest rates where you can look up yourself to see if I'm telling the truth. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm showing you the 5-year history of interest rates. Now, currently, this is where we sit at as a interest rates currently today on the market. Well, this is actually June 23rd. You come right here. Let me do this right here. June 30th, because it's the holiday, right? Is 30-year ARM is 5.70%. Now, of course, it depends on your credit score, your income, etc. But people are saying like, man, Victor, interest rates are so high. And I ask you this question, like, interest rates are high from when? What are you comparing it to? When the federal funds rate was at 0, of course they're going to be high, right? We have been programmed in our mind that, hey, interest rates should be close to 0. We should get a 2%, a 2.5%, a 2 3/4, a 3%, a 3.5% rate. But that's when they were trying to get the economy going, right? Now that the economy has blasted off, inflation is high, the federal government, the government always has their hands in real estate and everything that happens in the economy, is they put the fear tactic in you, and now you're saying that interest rates are high. Yes, they're high from being programmed that they were so low. But I want to take you on a journey here. Okay, let's go on a journey at 5.70%. If you really wanted to buy a house and you were serious, you should have bought it in 2021 when rates were at 2.77%, but yet you're still on the sidelines here, not willing to buy a house. And now your excuse is that interest rates are too high. Well, you had your opportunity since 2018 when rates were at 4.94%, which are lower than today. But if you look at this chart, 2018 right here is the highest mark. Thursday, November 15, 2018 was 4.94%. That was the highest peak. Then it came all the way down. So from this peak, 2018, to the lowest in history, 2.67, 2020, you've had 2 years to purchase a house. You still haven't pulled the trigger. You had this whole opportunity since 2021 to purchase a house. You still didn't take the opportunity. Now here you want to wait because interest rates are high. Yes, but just think about the future. When these rates dip down, what is going to happen? Let me ask you the serious question. When you see these rates go back down and the government is going to go reduce rates, when? I don't know. Could be 2023, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Could be 2024 of Q1. But when the rates go down, what's going to happen when you were looking for a house and the herd of people where you were getting outbidded, right? When you were doing multiple offers, when you were doing the bidding war up, you were giving away gift cards, when you were writing the letter to the other agent being like, yeah, I really need a house. And then you were trying to throw in the kids as well, right? You don't want to be in the herd. While everybody is swimming downstream, you want to swim upstream like the silver bullet, like the salmon heading to their destination. Because you love the house, you live in the house. When rates go down, you can refinance that and lower your payment. Because you need to be worried about paying down your principal balance to get rid of the mortgage insurance. And the way you can do that is by paying down your principal balance, living it long term, because we have to think long term now. Then when the rates go down, that's when you boom, I can refinance now. Okay, so it's a short period of time that you got to worry about. Stop thinking about the short term. Think more of the long term now. And I may get a little hate in the comments, and I love it. You put it down in the comments. We could discuss it and have a discussion. Okay. Now let me take you on a journey of 10 years. Okay. 10 years. Let's do all. Okay. Now, in 1981, interest rates were 18%, 18.44% to be exact with the facts. Now, this comes in with your grandmother and your grandfather. They made a decision to buy a house October 30th of 1981 at 18.4%. Look at this rates. Then yes, they went down. But still, look at these rates. 9%, 10%, 8%, 9%, 8%, 8, 7, 6, 5, 6 back to 6. In 2008, they were at 6.52%. So if you look at the rates, they're still low compared to all the way to 2008, my friend. In 2008, they were at 6.4%. And then they got down in the fours. 2018, 4.81%. So you can see this chart is, yes, rates are high, and because we've been programmed that they should be low. But if people were purchasing homes back in those days, then you should be able to make a decision with the facts like, hey, I'm going to be in this long term and I'm going to make a decision to purchase a house. And these little gray bars are the recessions, okay? Right here, 82, 80, 75, these little gray bars right here, right? So you got to remember is there should be one already here with the gray bar, okay? I don't really predict this recession to be as bad as the previous ones, like especially 2008, the one that I lived through. I mean, that was horrible. It was horrific. A lot of people lost their jobs. They lost their house. They lost their 401ks. They lost their retirement. People lost their lives. But I don't see this happening because by selling real estate here in Arizona, every buyer that I put in a house, every seller that has sold and bought another house, great income, great job history, great credit score, 30-year fixed mortgage interest rates. Now, can politics do something with the housing market? Yes, of course. But housing market as a whole here in Arizona, I feel is strong. So that is the interest rates. So now let's get into another chart so I can show you some more data and facts, because all I want to do is present this to you and then you can decide whether you want to reach out or not. Now, a lot of people have been posting foreclosures. Oh my God, foreclosures are up. There's so many foreclosures in Arizona. And I don't know where they're getting this data, but let me show you the truth about this data. When the market, 2009, 10,558 foreclosures, notice of trustees, meaning that they're going to give you a notice to say, Victor, you're going in foreclosure. You got 90 days to make up the payments, sell your property, or we're going to take it back, meaning the bank. Okay. Compared to what? The chart is right in front of you, my friends. Oh, there we go. The chart is right in front of you. Look at this. This chart has gone nothing but downward trend, close to almost zero. And you're going to have some, right? But look at this. We had 427. Now we're at 293. This chart shows you the facts, shows me the facts, the truth that, hey, we don't have any foreclosures like the crash, okay, looking in 2009. This whole crash right here. So you really gotta be aware, like long term. I'm always saying long term now. This long term. Because yes, as inventory rises, inventory is rising and increasing because rates are higher and people are having trouble qualifying. But if you're able to qualify, you got to think long term and say like, you know what, it's safe to buy a house because my job is secure. Okay, I make great income and I'm okay buying a house, and I'm just going to wait till these rates go down and then refinance later. So I wanted to show you these notice trustee sale because this is very important data to understand that we're not in the market like we were back in 2008. So the next chart I want to show you is supply versus demand. Now, the Cromford market shows me a lot of data, and I love it because it just tells me the truth and the facts. And when my clients come in here, I show them the charts in person, and I tell them like, look, this is where we're at. I'm here to mentor you and lead you, but I can't make the decision whether to buy or not. It's really going to be up to you. If you can afford it, I say do it. Okay, if you can't afford it, I'm not going to push you into buying a house. If you want to sell and purchase another house, we have to look at the whole scenario, the fundamentals of why you want to do that. If it makes sense, because prices have topped out, prices are trending down lower depending on the price point. Okay, categorizing price points is what you need to do if you're thinking about selling and buying another house. But I want to show you the Cromford Demand Index, where they measure supply and demand. It's a very interesting chart. So as you can see here, is normal is 100%. Okay, so in 2006, you can see 2005, we had supply, a lot more supply, and we had not that much demand. And you see this gap. This is when the market, we started building all these homes in Arizona right here in 2000. We started in 2006, right? And demand started going away, right? And then this is when the crash happened. Look at 2008, came all the way back down. Okay, 2009, and we crossed again, and now here we are. As we have demand is higher than supply, so when you have more demand than supply, prices go up. When it's the opposite version, when you have more supply than demand, this is when prices go down. And you can see here is the gap has kind of been like this for a couple of years, then it crossed past again, and it's been like this since right here in February of 2015. We've had more demand than supply. And you asked me this question, like, why is this chart like this? Well, you got to remember in 2008, when people lost everything, builders lost everything, banks lost everything, lenders lost everything, the public lost everything, you and me pretty much went under. Well, they stopped building houses here across the United States. It not only didn't happen in Arizona, but across the whole United States. So the number and the math is that we are 10 million homes behind on what we need to do to supply for the population. And then you can see the chart here. Now, this is very interesting right here. Okay. The supply index is 49.1%. Okay. And then the Cromford index is 88.5, the demand index. So there's a huge gap still there. Okay. Will they reach the point where they might cross, kind of like here in 2013? It may. But I see it crossing and going back to this situation right here, this gap, or a smaller gap like right here, because we don't have enough houses. And this is my point on this chart, is when the government comes in and they've raised rates to slow down inflation and slow down housing and slow down the market, is when they come down, they say, okay, let's get it back going. They lower those interest rates. That gap is going to get big, just like I showed you in 2018, and there's going to be a herd of people buying homes. And when we have no supply for you to come purchase a house, and we have a lot of demand, you're not going to get a house. You're going to be frustrated again. Rents are going to continue to increase. You're going to be paying rents, and you're going to be throwing your money away. You're paying a mortgage. You're just not paying yours. So those are the charts I wanted to show you. And like I said, I'm just here to speak the truth, show you the data, show you the facts, and then you can make a sound decision whether you want to reach out or not. But we have to go through all the fundamentals here in my office, on a Zoom call, via FaceTime, a phone call. We could do whatever you wish. But these charts are very, very important to know, understand the fundamentals of real estate. Now, what am I seeing on my contracts and at my title company, which is just right next door, is the title company that I use, I wrote down some facts here. Yes, inventory is rising across each city, but we're still seeing bidding wars on certain price ranges. So if you're looking to buy from 0 to 300,000, it's very difficult. 300 to 400,000, still difficult. Bidding wars. 400 to 5,000, it's loosened up there. 500,000 to 600,000, it's loosened up there. It just depends on the zip code and the city. So bidding wars are happening just depending on the price point and the cities. We're not getting the 20 contracts, the 25 contracts sold in 3 days, sold in so many hours. It's taking a little bit longer. Okay. Now, what's good about it is buyer contingencies are working now. We're seeing buyers, when I represent my sellers, they're asking for home warranties. Okay. They're able to do inspections. So if you're writing a contract, you're able to ask for a home warranty. You're able to do a home inspection, right? Appliances are now being involved. You don't have to waive inspections. And get this one. This one's a good one. Buyers are asking for closing cost help. Not you as a home buyer can ask for closing cost help. Not that you need closing cost help for the loan, but that you kind of want to use that number, that dollar amount, to try to help buy down the rate to a lower rate. Because maybe you're at the borderline of like, oh man, this house price is right here. I need a lower rate to make my payment where I need it to be. We're asking the sellers to be like, hey, my buyer really wants the house, but they kind of need some help with closing costs. And this is the reason. So they can buy down the rate so they make their mortgage payment affordable for them to live in it and then refinance later. And I tell the honest truth to the selling agent, and they tell that to the buyer, and they're like, to the seller, and they're like, oh, that makes total sense. Yep, let's take the offer. So there's a lot of contingencies that are working now in this market. And this is the opportunity to get in when everybody is backed off with the fear. This is the time to jump in because you're thinking long term. You're not thinking short term. It's a long term vision. You're looking at that hill, like in the beginning of the video, the ocean. I'm going to stay here and just cruise it on for 3 to 5 years, maybe 7. Then when the rates go down, then I'll refinance. And I don't have to worry about going out there and doing the bidding war anymore. So that is what's going on in our current real estate market here in Phoenix, Arizona. So this is what you need to know as a home buyer if you're thinking about buying a house here in Arizona, or if you're selling to buy another property, right? That's a whole different conversation, but you fall into the buyer category. So I hope you enjoyed the data and the charts on this one, because man, those charts, they just make your decision process so much easier, especially here in Arizona. So my friends, with that being said, what are you thinking you're going to do here? I mean, let's chat it up below in the comments. I mean, I am going to be present with the comments. You share your knowledge, you share your truth, where you think the market's going. If you didn't like this video, if you like this video, I mean, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm just telling you what I know as far as the data, the facts, and the truth of what's happening here in real estate. I've been doing this for 14 years. Okay. So with that being said, just do us a favor. We're trying to push this video out, all right, to other people just like you. So if you could do us a favor, every time you hit that, smash that like button, or even subscribe to the channel, it pushes the content out to other people who are probably in the same situation as you are. So we'd appreciate it if you do that. And then we'll see you guys on the next video.
If you have any questions, email me at victor@freeagentproperties.com. Again, that email address is victor@freeagentproperties.com, where we release new videos each week on home buyer tips, home seller tips, the Phoenix housing market updates, so you can be mindful when you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate. We will talk to you soon.